Hey yo, Hexico. Sorry it took me so long to get the stream up and going here. I don't know what the problem is, but YouTube apparently decides when it does and does not want to work. Anyway, we got a very special episode today of Shut the FUD Up. Because boy, have I been hearing a ton of FUD, and God almighty, I'm so sick of it. Like, you people, doesn't it get old for you? It gets pretty old for me. It gets really old really fast here. Apparently, it never gets old for you people that are just constantly fudding and fudding and going, oh, things are never going to get better. You still haven't learned anything. All these streams that I've been doing for all y'all's benefit, and you still haven't learned anything. I mean, I'm starting to question whether this streaming thing is even worth my time because I'm going to play something here today that shows immense stupidity on the part of so many people that are in our community and should know better. They absolutely should know better. Just decide where I want this microphone here. All right, if it's constantly like making unpleasant noise. Oh yeah, I got something I want to say to all you other streamers out there. When you're streaming and you're drinking while you're streaming, because I know you got to stay hydrated, do not drink near the microphone. You guys know who you are that's doing it. It's absolutely disgusting when I'm listening to your streams in my ear here and everything, and I hear you make this disgusting sound. Please stop doing that for the love of God. Very angry today. Have you not noticed? Very angry. And I'll tell you why. But first, let's have a little look at what's going on in the market. How about we do that? Let's try to like calm me down here a little bit before I go back to being incredibly angry. Let's see, where should I go? Let me go here to sharing the entire screen. And let's have a look here at the market today. And by the market, I mean stock market. Sorry for the microphone here again. See, I'd have this already done if YouTube would allow me to see my screen and the presentation before I go live, but they decided, oh no, we don't want to let you do that. Oh well. All right, refresh here. And what's happening? Okay, NATO allies agree to higher 5% defense spending target. Apparently, the market doesn't really like it here. Yeah, because the stock market. Oh, wait a minute, that's Asia. Sorry. Market's neutral on this. Absolutely neutral. Yeah, there must be some news here worth talking about, right? Yes, there is. And that, my friends, is going to be the news about the 10-year treasury. Where is that? Notice that, like, war breaks out and the market plunges. Then there's a ceasefire and the market goes back up. Now, was it about the war? No. No, it wasn't. Because you see, this war has been going on for at least the last 20 years. I remember them talking about Iran trying to get nuclear weapons way back when Bush was in office. I'm sure it was also happening. It was also a thing back when Clinton was in office. But look at here. The 10-year treasury is down from 4.5% to 4.32%, and Bitcoin is up. Doesn't that prove me right? Yes, that does, in fact, prove me right. All of you stupid morons out there that keep going, we're in a permanent bear market. The bull run is over because prices were going down and because alts haven't popped. Look at this. I said this here because the treasury was at 4.5%. The bull run has not started. The treasury comes down. Bitcoin rebounds. Altcoins rebound for the second time. I am right. For the second time, you people, I'm right here. Are you listening to me now? Are you gonna start adhering? Are you gonna start heeding my advice? Are you gonna stop fighting me on this stuff here? Because I'm right about a lot more than just the 10-year treasury. I am absolutely 100% right that marketing is a waste of time and we don't need marketing to push Pulsechain. And if you have an opposing view and you think you can take me to task on that, then come to the PulseX conference because I'm going to be there and I'm going to be on that panel about marketing and I'm going to rip that argument apart that we need marketing in order to pump. We absolutely do not, and that is a waste of your time and it is a waste of your money. Gotta calm down here again. I'm getting angry again. I promise you, I'm normally not an angry person. Just when I see so many people who should know better demonstrating that they do not know better, it really displeases me. Now let's have a look at how crypto is reacting to all of this. Head on over to Coin Market Crap and see. Well, looky here. We're at 107 for Bitcoin. Gee, I remember that like earlier in the week, we were down below 100,000. We were actually at 98,000. And all these schmucks out there were saying, oh, it's all over. And look at that. It rebounded just like a rubber band, snapping right back up to where it was. And it is only, look to the right over here, 4% down from its all-time high. 4% down from its all-time high, and the bull market is over. Okay, you know what, Sonny? Go ahead and believe that. Sell your bags. I'll be happy to buy them from you. And that way you can sit on the sidelines and going, oh, man, I can't believe I did this. I mean, all you people out there that are constantly fudding, I cannot wait until a couple of years from now when your kids go to your wife and ask, Mom, why are we poor? And with immense shame, she has to tell the kids, oh, it's because your father thought the bull market was over. That's going to happen to so many of you fudsters out there. That's going to happen to so many of you imbeciles. It's going to be really sad because there'll be such an enormous separation and disparity between the wealthy and you poor people who thought the bull market was over when it never even got started. It will be such a drastic difference in standards of living because inflation is going to pop off again. It's going to pop off again a lot worse than it did back in 2022. That's not the subject of today's talk. How's our ecosystem over here? How's the Pulsechain ecosystem? Doesn't look too great here on the 7-day chart. Doesn't look too great here either on the 24-hour chart. But again, all of the alts are down from where they were here. Maybe take a look at the coin market cap. Well, let's look at my personal watch list. Like, there's good reason like why the coins that are on my watch list are there because they are the noisemakers of this cycle. I mean, look at some of these other alts we got going on right here. They're really not popping that much here. And of course, this is causing a bunch of imbeciles out there to go, oh, that's because the bull run is over. Alt season canceled. Oh, man. I cannot wait to make fools of you people on today's stream. I cannot wait to just really slaughter your arguments and rip them to pieces like a piñata at a child's birthday party. I can't wait. But as you can see here, still pretty much a bloodbath in altcoins, and a great deal of them, a great many of them, are still down over 90%. See over here to the right, Gala, a Graph, Filecoin, Algorand's. I think Avalanche is still down over 90% as well. I mean, Trump coin, the coin that has the backing of the most powerful man in the world, or at least has the endorsement of it, is down 88%. And you guys think that Hex is fundamentally doomed because it's still down. But what I really wanted to get into here today is this chart. Wonder if anybody here knows what this is here. And I don't mean like, you should know just from looking at it here, looking at the formation of the chart, but the US dollar index. How many of you out there are familiar with this chart? How many of you out there know the significance of the dollar index and why it's important? I'm going to talk about that today here. But what I want to start with today here, what I want to get into, is there was a Twitter Spaces that occurred over the weekend. I really wanted to speak at it, but on the weekends, I really can't do that. I'm with family and can't let the family see me get angry at a bunch of bearish idiots. But there was a Twitter Spaces over the weekend, and this has led to the creation of today's stream. On today's stream, we need to have very old conversation, Hexaco. Time that we have this talk here that I'm sure you've been dreading, kind of like the talk that you have with your father when you've been caught doing something bad. It's time we have that talk here today, too. Because what's really upsetting to me is the immense amount of severe investment illiteracy that I am seeing from you people. I'm hearing some of the dumbest arguments being made by members of our community against all of our bags. It takes just a teeny bit, maybe milliseconds of critical thinking to debunk some of the stupidity that's being pushed. And that's what I'm going to do here today is debunk some of the stupidity that's being pushed. But I want to highlight and show you this foolishness that is poisoning the well that is our community. So let me share my screen here again. This is what I want to show you all. Internet Money, God love him, hosted a Twitter Spaces over the weekend. And first, we had Jail Rat Crypto come in and speak there. And of course, he wasn't really interested in having a substantive debate. All he wanted to do was just talk trash. I've already destroyed him, so I'm not even going to bother with him here. And I think from now on, it's probably best that we all just go refer to him as Jail Rat. Make fun of him and don't really address anything else that he says. That's not the guy that I want to talk about here today. Instead, there was another imbecile in this Spaces, and I made every effort to reach out to this guy and say, hey, how about we have a discussion? How about we have a debate? Because you're showing a ton of investment illiteracy here. I'd like to clear things up here for you. He never responded, so he knows he's wrong, and he knows I'm right, and that's why he didn't want to come on a stream with me, because he knew he would look incredibly stupid. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play his words here today, and I'm still going to make him look incredibly stupid. His name on Twitter is Execute, and here's what he had to say.
So my with X has better Bitcoin. This could be the top of the cycle.
All right, pause here. First thing he says is it has no utility. He was talking about Pulsechain and he was talking about Hex. Okay. Your point? Well, it has no utility. I mean, I could point to a gazillion other coins out there that have no utility and have had amazing runs and have made people lots and lots and lots of money. Bitcoin, for one. And it's like, oh, no, Bitcoin has utility. It's a store of value. Any coin can be a store of value. They have the exact same properties. And what are you going to say? There's no use cases. You know something? All of crypto, every single crypto asset out there has at least one use case. And you know what it is? If you don't know, then you're just illiterate and you shouldn't be talking. But here's what it is: borderless money. That is the ultimate use case of all crypto, is that it's borderless money. I can move crypto from one country to another without asking anybody's permission, without having to go through all of these hoops and having to stand on my head for the amusement of banks and sign all their forms and tell them what I want to do with my own damn money. That is the use case of crypto. So -1 for execute already. The next thing he says is also extremely stupid, probably the dumbest thing that he said throughout this whole thing, and that is that this cycle is over, that the top is in.
Any other ecosystem. BTC went from 15K to 20, give or take. ETH went from 850 to 4K. Realistically, I was saying that's the cheapest thing ever. The thing of man on the back. The onboarding. They're doing the onboarding.
All right. That last thing he said, I do agree with that. We shouldn't be relying on Richard to pump the assets for us here. But maybe to turn back just a little bit, he said that we could have invested in any other ecosystem out there and we would have made a lot of money. But since we're in Hex and Pulsechain, we missed out. Mr. Execute, let me direct your attention over here to CoinMarketCap, and please show me where on this page I could have bought a crypto investment that would have made me money and would have surpassed its previous all-time high, because right now everything is still down from the all-time highs. The only thing that ever reached their previous highs was Bitcoin and Solana. That's it. Ethereum didn't even reach its previous all-time high. So you're wrong. And here's some more proof that you're wrong here. Let's just take a look at all of the coins that are still down over 90%. Look at Polkadot. Everybody talks about Polkadot like it's some great thing when it's really a piece of trash that's ran by an even scummier founder. You guys think some people think Richard Hart is a scumbag. You have no idea what a scumbag Gavin Wood is. Just punch his name into Google and see what comes up. And yet still there's idiots that stand by this coin here. And it's down 94%. Explain that one to me, Execute. Near Protocol down 90%, ICP 99, Kronos 92, Ethereum Classic 91. And of course we'll say, well, Ethereum Classic is crap. Okay, well, how about VeChain? How about the Graph? How about all these coins here that have everything in the world going for it, like Filecoin, like WorldCoin? Please tell me why those coins are down over 90%, but somehow only Hex is doomed. Only Pulsechain is doomed. I've put this challenge out to so many people, and nobody's gotten back to me. Nobody's accepted the challenge, so I can only conclude that I'm right, and all of y'all are just a bunch of chickens. What else does this idiot have to say?
Got it? That's the only reason why nobody's going to come here. Nobody's going to follow this. Way better chance too. Bitcoin has better yield. It has NFTs. It has communities.
Bitcoin. You know that Bitcoin DeFi has been the butt of every joke ever since it came out? Right? Eric Wall's NFTs that he made on Bitcoin are down. They're trash. Ordinals are a joke. Nobody's investing in them. Nobody talks about them anymore. And Bitcoin DeFi, where it takes you 8 hours to do a transaction, takes you 8 hours to send Bitcoin from one wallet to another on a bad day. And on a good day, it's going to take like 2-3 hours. And you think that that's better than a cheaper and faster Ethereum that has had completely flawless operation ever since it launched. So immediately, I want to dismiss this guy just based on this stupid stuff that he just said here. But let's listen to some more stupidity.
You know, everybody knows. The bulk here is.
Hey, there ain't no rugging when it comes to the core coins, which is why I'm a core coins only guy. I don't talk about any of the other projects on Pulsechain. And you know, the rest of us that do only talk about the core coins, we got nice, clean reputations. Nobody's ever accusing us of having to pull any rugs or anything like that. Nobody's ever accusing us of that. And I keep telling you people that all you ruggers out there that want to make a quick buck or something, you know, you're going to have an easier time just picking a core coin that you do like, an already established coin, and promoting that than you will trying to go through all the trouble of setting up some sort of rug like the Pulse Latina thing and then rugging and never being allowed to show your face ever and having your wallets watched forever. You will have a much easier time just picking a core coin and promoting that, and you'll have a higher likelihood of getting rich. But I'm a core coins only guy, and I've not ever complained about them going down because somebody rugged it or blamed other people for it. I was pretty mad about the whole P-Dye thing, yes, but that ended up being resolved, and we're fine now. But no, I'm not. Oh, it's only the people that are trying to outsmart the system or are trying to take the lazy way out instead of just buying more of these core coins and holding them until the bull cycle really starts. Because, God damn it, it has not started yet. And if that is not through your thick skull yet, either one, you haven't watched enough of my streams, or two, you've watched them, but you're still because you're still investment literate and you choose to be investment literate, or three, you're just illiterate in general. Back to the idiot.
And I don't know. It just comes down to Richard needs to pump the chain. It's disgusting. Say that out loud. To realize it. Bro.
Execute. What the hell do you think we're all doing, bro?
You're a good on.
I've been onboarding the hell out of people.
Yeah, but you're also new too. You guys. You gotta zoom. Like, I used to like pity Jews to come about our space. Yeah, Richard's gonna pump back. Heard you say that about but that is not a narrative. Like you should tell them like it's good because of this, it's good because of that.
I'm against the whole Richard is going to pump the bag narrative. What do you think's going on with Bitcoin right now? BlackRock is going to pump the bag. Larry Fink is going to pump the bag. Michael Saylor is going to pump the bag. And that's all I hear about Ethereum is that this institution is buying, and this institution is buying, and this institution is buying. That's really the only good thing that's going for Ethereum right now is that Trump keeps buying it, Fidelity keeps buying it, and BlackRock keeps buying it, and these people don't lose money. But how is that any different from this stupidity that you're criticizing? How is it any different from this stupid criticism that you're making? Execute.
We should come to this chain. It's like you can't sell it other than Richard's.
I can definitely sell it to you.
Are you bearish on DeFi?
This isn't DeFi.
Oh, here we go. This isn't DeFi. You know, maybe I should let him explain why this isn't DeFi. Let's hear it.
Do you own any Pulsechain or that?
No, I don't. Well, I do own it. It's just sold pretty much week 1 at 10 cents. And
So why are you repurchasing? Because what you just said, you just made it sound like it's over a set. So why are you repurchasing now?
it's just limit orders.
Even at this point, you think the cycle might be over?
Can't wait to debunk that point. I'll get to that later.
The cycle's over.
I didn't say
You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing.
No.
The cycle is over. It's crazy.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, don't you think?
Yeah, of course.
Actually, not a big deal. So do you want to hear
Hold
the
on.
whole case?
I want to go back to. No, I would like it to be true. Richard's actions. He meant it not true. When there's an exploit, you can't come on the chain. You guys just touted that. Like that, or whatever, right? But what Richard did with PDOT was the exact same thing. Like you can't roll back, or you can't. There's a liquidity pool and you have access to it. You are not supposed to have access. Those coins should have been burnt. The fact that he can run any of the pools, it's not true. I don't care if he owns 95%. Do the validator
What
thing.
if he doesn't rug those coins?
He already did it.
Elaborate on
he pulled the PDI pool and dumped it into most, the stupidest fucking.
He also did it to Hex, but you're still buying it Hex. That's recent. You think he pulled all that liquidity when everyone was still confident?
Yeah,
That Hex was good below.
All right. So he's making a bunch of gibberish here that doesn't make any sense and everything. But let's take this stupid thing piece by piece here. He wants to say it's not true DeFi, and whatever argument you want to make for it, that because Richard can control what pools go up and what pools come down, or because he owns the majority of the supply. Had one idiot on X that was arguing with me on that point. That because Richard controls the majority of the supply is not true DeFi. Here's the thing. What makes it DeFi is that there's 50,000 validators all over the world, and nobody could shut the chain down if they wanted to. You see, a centralized chain, that could be shut down because it has admin keys like Solana does. That is pure centralized finance. What makes Pulsechain decentralized finance is the fact that nobody can shut it down even if they wanted to. Even if Gary Gensler got reinstalled after having a nice little honeymoon with his boyfriend, Max Kaiser, when they're done blowing each other, and somehow we got reinstalled with Gary Gensler, and he decided, I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to attack Hex, and I'm going to attack Pulsechain, and I'm going to shut down the Pulsechain, even if he wanted to. And that's a fantasy that I'm pretty sure he pleasures himself off to with a bunch of lubrication. Even though I'm sure he does that, he could not do that. He could not do that even if he wanted to. That's what makes it decentralized finance. The idea that Richard owns the majority of the supply, and so it has so much centralized ownership, it's not DeFi. Bro, we could say that about almost any coin out there, any DeFi token, because they all have the potential for fully centralized ownership. It just takes somebody with a lot of money to buy the majority of the supply. So by this idiot logic, if somebody owns the majority of the supply, it can't be a DeFi token. By this idiot logic, no DeFi token can be a DeFi token. And as far as him rugging the pools, I mean, first off, that's not the definition of rugging a pool. He killed the pool is what he did. He cut it off, which was good. That does not make it anti-DeFi. That doesn't make it centralized, because somebody has to establish these pools to begin with. And then the natural forces of the market are also going to kill these pools later on when they want. So whether it's one guy that controls the majority of the supply that kills a pool, or whether it's the forces of the market of smaller supplies killing the pool, really the difference between the two doesn't legitimize one thing as DeFi or delegitimize another thing as DeFi. So this guy doesn't, it's clearly he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, let's hear some more stupidity before I don't know how much more of this I can take before I blow a gasket, but let's hear some more stupidity.
But you're still lying. No, that's what I'm saying. People like you come in and make these comments.
Who are not smart?
I tell you all.
No.
He was probably. When you're claiming it's not true DeFi, but you're also claiming that you're buying this. So what would that? How does that make anything that you said in the last 5 minutes?
If you
why
know
should we
you can
listen to
catch
you?
something, so when I have a limit order, let's say for 1 cent, something goes from 3 cents to 1 cent in a limit order. I wake up, I have coins in my bag, because of the way I set up my limit order, super low, and it just comes in, it touches it, gives me my coins, and then it goes back.
If you can run the content, you can run things and you don't agree with them running. You're sitting limit orders just below where it is right now. If you decided to run it even more, you would be absolutely correct, including you're saying that you think that the market could be over. It makes no sense. So the question is, what I'm saying is people like you.
All right, so basically this imbecile doesn't know what he's talking about, and it was exposed here on the spaces. Now, we want to really address this other point that he made, and it's probably the stupidest of all, and that's the point that the cycle is over, that the top is already in. I keep showing you guys the 10-year treasury yield and keep telling you why that's important, but apparently nobody talked about it. On that X Spaces, I didn't hear one person bring up the 10-year treasury. That is sad, you guys. If you do not know yet how the 10-year treasury affects the entire crypto market cycle, that is sad. And you know what? Later on, what I heard was Brissology had came in, and I love Brissology, but he had said that there's still 6 months left in the cycle, which is true, could be that. But guys, I gotta scream about this here. What dictates the bull market, what dictates the cycle is not time or where we are on the calendar. What dictates it is 1, what's the 10-year treasury doing? And 2, what's the Dixie doing? That's what I want to show you today. Because the Dixie also proves that I am right. Let's have a look here at a little chart. A little chart here called the dollar index. Now, when you look at it just from here on Trading View, not quite all that telling. I mean, like the first thing that might stand out to you, that stands out to me, is that down here in 2021, the last bull market top that we had, look how low this thing was. This was down in the 90s, or 89, really. I mean, this was probably right here, the true top, because a lot of people think that the top in November was the false top. The true top here is when the Dixie was at 89. That means the purchasing power of a US dollar bill was 89 cents, not $1. Then we come up all the way over here. September, which was very, very close to the Bitcoin bottom. And really, a lot of altcoins were bottoming around here too. They were getting totally destroyed. September 2022, Dixie was at 114. Well, man, this seems like almost a perfect correlation, a perfect negative correlation between the strength of the dollar and Bitcoin and crypto. Where is the Dixie at right now? Oh, it tells us over here. It's at 97. It's at 97. Last time that it was this high, it was over here. March 2022. I remember that month intimately here because that was when I started to notice, hey, these coins are going down, and they're going down pretty bad. It wasn't too much longer until we had the crash of Terra Luna. It wasn't too much longer until Celsius, Voyager, and all of them went down. I first started noticing, hey, it's possibly that this thing is all over here back in March of 2022. So right now, where prices are at right now, prices of the crypto market, where our coins are at right now, they are doing phenomenal compared to where they were the last time that the dollar was this strong. We are incredibly lucky to have the great prices that we have right now with a 10-year treasury above 4% and with a Dixie at 97.9, which is where it was when the last bear market really started getting going. Take a look at some previous cycles. How about we go all the way back to 2017. Remember that top came right around here in December for Bitcoin. So the Dixie was at 92. We had a tiny little altcoin season going on in January right here. This is like when Ethereum started popping. And that's because the Dixie was at 88. Then as it started going up, the bear market movements got more aggressive in the 2018 bear market, the 2018 bear market. Want more proof that there's an inverse relationship? Let's look at this chart. This chart shows you the relationship between Bitcoin and the Dixie. The blue is the dollar index. The orange is the Bitcoin. Look at this. Look at this and tell me that this is not a perfect inverse relationship. Look at this and tell me why you think we should be pumping to all-time highs when the Dixie is as strong as it is right now. Or perhaps something far more telling is this chart here. This is where it was in previous tops and previous bottoms. December 2017, we almost hit 20,000 for the Bitcoin top. The Dixie was at 92. We got to be in the low 90s for us to hit a top. And then at the bottom, December 2018, 96. Bitcoin reached its bottom of 3,200. Now, 96. Currently, the Dixie is at 97. But in the 2018 bottom, it was at 96. So we're doing phenomenal for where we are now compared to then. We are at a dollar index price worse than what we had in the December 2018 Bitcoin bottom, and yet we're higher. And you guys are bearish, thinking that the cycle is over? For God's sake, shut the FUD up. Or how about right here? The last top, which I don't think is the true top. I think it was a false top. The 69,000 Bitcoin top of 2021, we were at 94 for the Dixie. Which again is the low 90s. Got to be in the low 90s. Got to be below 95 for them to have for Bitcoin to reach its top. And then as it goes even further down, the altcoins really explode, because like Ethereum's alt season in 2018, Dixie was at 88. It was at 88 at that time. And then here, the absolute worst bear market for Bitcoin that we had seen, 114. It brought about the bear market Bitcoin bottom. That was a 20-year high for the Dixie, 114. That's a 20-year high. It hadn't been that high for 20 years. Notice here, like also in these previous ones, like 2018, Dixie was just getting started with rising. See, it doesn't have to go all the way up to its all-time high. It just has to start rising to have a dramatically negative impact on crypto. But also, when it starts falling, when it gets lower, that's when we start going up. This is a perfect inverse correlation, a perfect inverse relationship, you guys. So if you think that the cycle is over when the Dixie is at a higher level than it was in the 2018 bear market, you think it's all over now, sorry, you're just illiterate. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today here, is to point out all this stupidity that I'm hearing, to debunk all of this bearish idiocy, and to shut the FUD up. What else do I want to do is I want to keep my challenges open. Hey, Rackham, I accepted your challenge, the $1 million challenge to debate Richard Hart. I will gladly debate him on the merits of marketing. I will gladly debate him. So, you got my message? You hear me? You want to arrange that debate? Can you make it happen, or can you just not make it happen? You tell me. Anybody that wants to debate me on marketing, I'm going to be at the Pulsechain conference. You can debate me there. I will absolutely rip it to shreds. Anybody who wants to debate me on whether the bull market has started or it's over, I'm happy to have that debate too. But as you saw in this stream, the facts are clearly on my side. So you better bring your best argument, your best A game. Till then, everybody, please shut the FUD up. Cairo out.